The email came on a gray Wednesday morning, buried between junk mail and work reminders. Lakewood High Class of 2005 to 20-year reunion, it read in gold letters, followed by a link to RSVP. Jenna clicked it out of curiosity more than excitement. She hadn't thought of Lakewood in years, the small town, the endless gossip, the cold hallways of a school she'd long tried to forget. But the thought of seeing old faces again, maybe even confronting old ghosts, tugged at something nostalgic in her chest. Against her better judgment, she clicked yes. That night, she scrolled through the Facebook page the organizers had set up. Familiar names flooded the posts: Ryan, her old crush, now divorced. Carrie, the former prom queen, looking too perfect for 40. Even Mr. Hendricks, their history teacher, had commented, saying he'd stop by, if the weather allowed. Jenna smiled faintly, but as she scrolled down, her screen froze on one post. No name. No picture. Just a comment that read, "Not everyone should come back." She thought it was some prank, but something about that single sentence made her uneasy. She clicked on the profile, but it didn't exist. It was deleted almost instantly. She messaged Carrie about it, but Carrie brushed it off, probably a troll. Don't overthink it. Still, that night, Jenna dreamed of the old gymnasium filled with faceless classmates chanting her name. When she woke up, her inbox had another message. It was blank except for an attached photo. It was a yearbook picture of her, except her eyes were blacked out with ink. Underneath, in shaky handwriting, were the words, "See you soon, Jenna." The reunion was set for Saturday at the newly renovated Lakewood High Gym. Jenna rented a car and made the 2-hour drive from the city, through fog-slick roads and dying woods. The closer she got, the more the memories crept back: the rumor about the missing student, Emily Price, who vanished after senior prom, the whispers that she was last seen in the basement with someone wearing a Letterman jacket. As Jenna passed the "Welcome to Lakewood" sign, she felt a chill crawl up her spine. The town looked almost deserted. The shops were faded, their windows covered in dust. She parked near the old diner where she and her friends used to skip class. It was still there, the neon sign flickering, but inside, it was empty, save for a single waitress who stared at her too long. "Back for the reunion?" the woman asked flatly. Her name tag read Marge. When Jenna nodded, Marge leaned closer. "Don't stay late at the school. Not after dark." Before Jenna could ask why, the woman turned and disappeared into the kitchen. A bell rang from somewhere behind her. Even though the door hadn't opened. Shaken, Jenna finished her coffee and left. As she walked back to her car, she noticed something pinned under her windshield wiper, a folded piece of notebook paper. In faded pencil, it read, "You never told the truth." By 6 p.m., the parking lot of Lakewood High was full of laughter and headlights. Jenna spotted familiar faces as she walked toward the gym. Ryan waved her over, holding 2 plastic cups of punch. He looked older but still carried that confident smile that once made her heart race. "You made it," he said. "Didn't think I'd ever see you back here." Inside, the school had been transformed: streamers, music from their graduation year, and a big banner that read, "Welcome back, class of 2005. Teachers mingled with alumni, and even the principal gave a brief, cheerful speech. But something felt off. The lights flickered every few minutes, and the music kept distorting, skipping into static for seconds at a time. Carrie showed up in a shimmering red dress, instantly drawing attention. "Still the same, huh?" Jenna teased. Carrie laughed, tossing her hair. "Hey, it's not every day we get to relive our glory years." They reminisced about old parties and pranks, but the laughter faded when someone mentioned Emily Price. The air turned thick, and people avoided eye contact. Ryan muttered, "Let's not talk about that tonight," and changed the subject. As the night wore on, Jenna went to the restroom. The hallway was darker than it should have been. Halfway there, she froze. Someone was standing at the end of the corridor, motionless. A woman, in what looked like a torn prom dress. Her head tilted slightly, and even from afar, Jenna could see her eyes were completely black. When she blinked, the hallway was empty. Jenna returned to the gym, shaken. Ryan noticed her pale face and asked if she was okay. "Just thought I saw someone," she whispered. He frowned. "You remember the old rumors, right? About the basement?" The word basement sent a shiver down her back. Everyone at Lakewood knew it, a locked maintenance area under the gym where Emily was last seen before she vanished. It had been sealed for 20 years. Students used to dare each other to sneak down there. None ever did. Curiosity gnawed at her. By 9 p.m., after most people had gone outside for drinks and photos, Jenna slipped away and found the old stairwell door behind the trophy case. The paint was peeling, and the lock had rusted away. To her surprise, it wasn't even locked anymore, just slightly ajar. The air from below was damp and foul. She descended slowly, her phone flashlight barely cutting through the darkness. The walls were covered in old graffiti, hearts, initials, jokes, and then she saw it, a large, smeared handprint in something that looked too dark to be dust. At the bottom was another door. She pushed it open, and froze. The room was filled with old yearbook photos pinned to the walls. Every face had its eyes blacked out. Jenna stumbled backward, her flashlight shaking. On the far wall, a single yearbook photo was different, untouched, framed. It was Emily Price. Below it, written in dripping red paint, were the words, "She never left." A faint noise echoed behind her, like someone breathing. She turned, but no one was there. Her phone flickered, and the screen showed static for a moment before displaying a camera view. The camera was on, but it wasn't pointing at her surroundings. It was showing the gym above. The reunion. The crowd dancing. And in the corner of the feed, a figure in a bloodstained prom dress slowly turned toward the camera. Jenna dropped the phone and ran up the stairs, bursting into the gym. The lights were still flickering. The music stopped. People looked confused. Then one woman screamed. Carrie was gone. Her red dress was lying in a heap near the punch bowl, and a trail of wet footprints led toward the hallway. Police arrived within the hour, locking down the school. They questioned everyone, including Jenna. She tried to explain what she saw, but the officers exchanged skeptical glances. Ryan backed her up, saying he saw Carrie head toward the restroom minutes before she vanished. By midnight, everyone was told to stay in the gym while the police searched. The tension was suffocating. Some joked nervously, others whispered that it was all a prank. But Jenna knew what she saw. At one point, she slipped away again, drawn toward the hallway where the footprints had been. They were gone now, as if mopped clean. But when she passed a classroom door, she heard music playing faintly inside. A slow, warped version of their prom song. She pushed the door open, and found Carrie's red dress hanging from the ceiling light. Beneath it, her phone was playing a video. The screen showed the reunion crowd again, except now, every person in the video was standing still, staring directly at the camera, and behind them, Emily Price stood smiling. Detectives took Carrie's phone into evidence, but the video spread fast. Within hours, someone leaked it online, and the entire town was talking about Lakewood's reunion curse. The next morning, Jenna checked into a motel outside town, unable to sleep. At 3 a.m., there was a knock on her door. Ryan stood there, pale and shaking, holding an old VHS tape. "You need to see this," he said. "I found it in the basement. It's dated May 2005, prom night." They borrowed an old player from the motel clerk and played it. The footage was grainy, showing the gym full of teenagers dancing. Then the camera moved to the basement door, where Emily Price was being led by someone wearing a Letterman jacket. The footage cut out abruptly, replaced by static. But a faint voice came through the noise, whispering, "They never found me." Ryan shut it off, terrified. "That jacket, it looked like mine," he muttered. Jenna stared at him. "What are you saying?" He shook his head. "I don't remember anything from that night. I was drunk, but what if," he trailed off. The lights flickered. For a moment, the motel TV turned on by itself, displaying a frozen frame of Emily's face, eyes black, smiling wide. The next day, Ryan confessed that he and a few others had played a cruel prank on Emily after prom. They locked her in the basement for a few hours to scare her, but when they returned, she was gone. They told everyone she'd left with a college guy. "We panicked," Ryan said. "No one ever found a body." Jenna felt sick. "You covered it up?" Ryan nodded, tears in his eyes. "It was stupid, but we didn't think she was dead. We thought." Before he could finish, the motel lights went out. The static returned on the TV, showing live footage from the reunion gym, but it was empty now. Every decoration was gone. Just the dark gym floor. Then the camera panned down, revealing dozens of footprints soaked in water. A knock echoed from the motel bathroom. Slow. Heavy. Jenna's reflection in the mirror was smiling, but she wasn't. Ryan screamed. Jenna woke up hours later, alone. Ryan's car was still outside, but he was gone. The TV was shattered. In the bathroom mirror, the words, "Finish it," were written in steam. She drove back to the school, the morning sun hidden behind thick clouds. The police tape had been torn down. The front doors were open. Inside, the gym was silent, stripped bare. The air reeked of mold and decay. In the center of the room was Ryan's Letterman jacket. Underneath it, a fresh trail of water led to the basement stairs. Jenna followed, trembling. The walls were covered in fresh writing now, hundreds of times over, "Tell the truth." At the bottom, she found Ryan, or what was left of him, staring blankly, his eyes black and mouth twisted into a silent scream. In his hand was a note, "She wants you next." Jenna knew she couldn't leave. Not yet. She walked deeper into the basement, the walls pulsing with a faint heartbeat-like sound. At the far end, a doorway glowed faintly blue. She stepped inside. It was the old prom hall, recreated perfectly. Balloons, streamers, and the same slow song from that night played softly. In the center stood Emily Price, her prom dress soaked and torn, her black eyes gleaming. "You never told them the truth," Emily whispered. "You watched." Jenna shook her head, trembling. "I was scared. I didn't know they locked you in." Emily smiled sadly. "Then you'll stay with me." The music swelled as Jenna's scream echoed through the hall. When police finally reopened the school weeks later, they found no sign of her, only 2 sets of wet footprints leading toward the basement, and a yearbook photo on the floor. In it, the class of 2005 was smiling, and a new face had been added. Jenna, eyes blacked out, standing beside Emily Price.